Happy Friday Eve, everybody. Happy Friday Eve. Hope everyone's having a good week. Come back to working on our little Yakong robots for Infinity tonight. I'm at a point with the first one that it's pretty much ready for some in-depth detail work, doing the non-metallic metal on all the gray parts with the silver top, and then it's ready to be sealed. And then also basement. That's at a point where I'm comfortable with it. Even if I don't do the non-metallic metal on it, it's table ready, right? Other than the basement. So that said, we're gonna work on the other one tonight. And then once we get both of them to the point that the first one's at, then I'll work on the non-metallic metal and sealing it. How is everybody doing? We hope your week has been going good so far. I have had pretty really busy Wednesday and pretty chill Thursday today. But I had to deal with a customer that I thought I was done with this afternoon, but they just keep coming back. Good old program. Like our exam sheet, the first one was just kind of practice, figuring out how I wanted to do everything and how I wanted everything to look. Now this one is the one where we know everything, which will hopefully go through. We'll see. So great. It's like really archive is what all of the old Twitch streams are going into a playlist. I'm slowly uploading them. Right now there's just one. Currently the schedule is that I have 2 VODs being uploaded onto the YouTube channel until we're all caught up, and then it will be once a week the VOD I might make it so that the VOD goes up onto YouTube after it comes off of Twitch. That way, people that watch me on Twitch are watching those current stuff behind. So once they fall off the Twitch, then they'll end up content up on for the future people, if you are watching this on YouTube, hello, welcome. Like the manager's work. This is one from all different franchises, from specific board game pictures. I don't care what it's for. Got a cool sculpt, and the quality of the model isn't absolute trash. I want to put it. Probably gonna do some Star Wars Shatterpoint at some point. Maybe Star Wars Legion, I don't know, play it, but I like Star Wars, so if I will consider it. We also do display painting on it. I'm currently in the process of working on my Yuching army for Infinity. Like we see here, these are for Infinity the game. But I am trying to paint them, like the majority of my army is close to box art quality as I possibly can. I think we just need to ditch this sheet of parchment paper because it's real bad. The paint on it is not good at it. Bear with me while I change out my parchment paper. And then we will get back to it. Hey, thank you so much, Botanist. I appreciate you stopping by. We're actually working on the beginnings of a secondary model. The one that we started is right here. So this is the first one that we did. We gotta do 2 of these guys. This is after battle damage and the snow effects. Come on, camera, focus. So that is the result that we're after here. Lock my camera a little bit better. So this is the first one we did, and it's almost done. I gotta do highlights, I gotta paint the base rim, and then I gotta do the non-metallic metal on all the really dark gray parts, but that's where we're at. That's what the current one is gonna work toward. So right now we're laying in the green on the legs. But I appreciate you stopping by, and lurking is always welcome. I did maybe look at your Big Palace upload on YouTube earlier. I saw it furnished with a string. It came out amazing. I still think you're lying for a year or two. See if I can. My goodness. Let's see if I can figure out how to do this. Well, everyone should go check out Botan's Cool on his Twitch stream when he's live. He painting Monster Hunter miniatures. And again, he says he's only been painting a couple of years, but it doesn't look like it. Paint quality is really solid. And you painted what, just the wings in that? too much time on those things. Talking about stuff I'll paint, so like board game models, right? I'll paint board game names as long as the quality isn't terrible, and the sculpts are cool. That is what the Monster Hunter World models are. Not Winterland Wastes. I don't know. It's been a hot minute since I've played Monster Hunter. But I am definitely excited to paint Polygadachi. Definitely excited. But since I'm not actively playing the game and don't have a group of people to actively play the game with, those models are low on my priority list. I'm looking for paint recipes. Satellite? Or is it satellite, yep. Black green from Pearl Krill, dragon green from MSP Paints, and Sabolite green from Citadel Paints. or Warhammer paints as they have now been relabeled. Realistically, if I run out of a color for my Citadel paints, probably not restocking. I will find something in Vallejo or Coral. Not because I don't like the rebranding, but just because in general there are as high quality of an option out available out there from other companies that don't have the predatory business practices that Inco companies. Do I have their knowledge? Yes. All are fantastic. But I think they're I use the best miniature paints on the market, Citadel Paints. For a long time. I was definitely thinking that you coolers. I realize there are other options out there. I mean, Pro Acryl had wasn't on that. I was on all Pro Acryl paints. Their paints are amazing. I think if I had to use one brand of paint, it would be Pro Acryl. Vallejo would be a very was fine. And they look nice. I had them printed from just like Office Depot or something, right? Right, those were the old original business cards, still using the same image that I used in my profile picture, right? But I did the cool little art effect on the multiple miniatures to make it like go around the galaxy effect. I can't seem to find a way to do that anymore. So I want to recreate that effect, but Google Slides sucks and can't do the same things that PowerPoint can do. And so far, the business card creator stuff that I've looked at also isn't quite capable of doing that. So, I don't know what I'm going to do. I might have to find an alternative program or something and then just like do all of it in that program and upload it as an image for wherever I decide to get them printed. I have this terrible habit of moving the model off screen. finished well, we didn't finish, but we got 90% of the way done with the first one last week with all the snow. So we're going to start on the second one tonight. We're doing it in a little bit different order than the last time. Taking the things that went in the first one and applying it to this one. Right now we're just working on a relatively short amount of time. How are you this evening? Happy Friday. Happy Friday Eve. Hopefully your week has been good so far, stressful. Just much louder than I am. Well, that's because I had some background noise before that I turned down. How's that? Is the voice audio better? Or is the background music still too loud? Also, weirdly have noticed that I tend to talk quieter while I'm streaming, and I don't know why. It feels like I'm like talking under my breath sometimes. Much better, thank you. Okay, good. Oh. So we're gonna keep up the weekly poll here, just to get a tally for what everyone's favorite season is. This is gonna be relevant for the project that we work on once we're done with the robots. All those minis are primed and ready to go. It's just a matter of which one you guys want to see first. Are we talking to your minis and not trying to scare them? Yeah, I feel like because while I'm painting, my head is pointed down looking at the model, so I'm like talking under my breath, and like the microphone is over here on the left side of me. So it's not like in front of me or behind me, but like I can move it only a little bit closer than what it already is. But even then, like, I don't know how much louder that makes me. But with the microphone there, like, I have a tendency to maybe bump into it with my shoulder, or like it just, I feel crowded with it that close. So I tend to move it a little bit further away from me so that I feel like I have some elbow room. So I just think it's maybe positioning of the microphone, as well as like the position that I'm sitting in and painting in, like I'm talking downward. That might be part of the reason why I end up being so quiet while I'm painting. Because you know, I am not a quiet person in general. Like, I can be very loud when I want to be. But that's a fun concept, just being a miniature whisperer. You gotta talk to them softly so that the paint goes on even. Whisper sweet nothings to the miniatures and the paint so that they look even better. Also, yell at me if I move the model out of frame. Well, that would require me spending money, and you know, I kind of have a big expense coming up at the end of the year, so I probably not an option at the moment. I think that the plan might be when we move, that like I set up my desk differently, so that the microphone is maybe in front of me, or maybe suspended above or something like that. Like, I don't have a crazy amount of space, but I do like the setup that I have right now. I wish there was a way to have the microphone like almost on the other side of my desk and then coming forward, but with the paint racks the way they are, that's not really an option. I don't know, it requires probably a different setup for the paint racks and my desk than what I have, and the way everything is set up right now works for the space that I'm in. So changing that is probably not something that's going to happen anytime soon. I think I'm more focused as far as like equipment and purchases goes. Like, I think I'm more focused on trying to get a better camera for you guys so that the image quality is better. Whispers to the mini, stop letting the paint go there. Why is it so hard to reach that spot? It's more like, why is this transition not as smooth as I want? Please blend and better. There we go. See, they all have to look like this. Why? Because I'm a tryhard, and I don't know how to do anything half-assed. I thought about maybe working on these like over the weekends, just so that I didn't do all this like super technical blending work on stream, and so you guys could actually see like interesting progress happening. That's probably what I'll end up doing when we go back to like the main troops, right? Just have like the whole stream be the magic step, where everything turns from brown to yellow orange. You go hard on things, but there's a lot of honesty in that. Yeah. It just, you know, it's not the most interesting thing to watch. The small in-between steps of blending, highlight, glaze, blend, highlight, glaze, like just to get a transition on a panel that's literally smaller than my pinky finger nail. Like, unless you're really interested in like high detail painting, I feel like most people don't want to watch that. Unless it's on like a really big display base, right? Or not a display base, but a display miniature, like a bust or a 75 mil. Or a really like big detailed Warhammer model or something. Like, I have considered switching over to like only painting Warhammer on stream, because just the name recognition and the number of people that are interested in Warhammer versus the number of people that are interested in like Infinity is so much higher. And I feel like painting Warhammer would attract more people to the stream, and then once we have them here and they're like, oh wow, you're such a good painter, and you have really cool paint schemes for stuff, be like, okay, now that I have your attention, let's talk about this other game that isn't Warhammer. Let's paint for this other game called Infinity. Maybe you've heard of it. The ever so popular competitor made by Corvus Belli. You like fantasy versions of skirmish war games? Well, they have that too. It's called Warcrow. So like, while I'm sure the number of people that are in the same place that I am with their frustrations with Games Workshop, those people are far fewer than the people that are drinking the GW Kool-Aid. Maybe end with Infinity as a treat, show them off to the Warhammer people. Right. Which, you know, there will be Warhammer stuff on the channel eventually. I was saying earlier, like, I have their models. I don't refuse to paint them. I just refuse to buy their rule books. You know, Games Workshop makes incredible sculpts and very highly detailed models. I just don't like their practices for their games. Right? Like, there's a new edition of Warhammer like every 2 years. And when the edition releases, whatever their favorite faction is, Space Marines, and whatever else, get new rules on release with the rulebook, right? Recently it's been Necrons. Other years it's been oh god, the Egyptian chaos motherfuckers. Thousand Sons, that's the word. Other years it's been Thousand Sons. Other years it's been Tyranids. But it's always Space Marines and something else. And then everybody else has, excuse me, everybody else has to wait to get their rules. Not all the rules don't come out at the same time. So you're using your rules from the previous edition on your army, while the person that just got into the game or bought the battle box is playing the newest, freshest, up-to-date army that has all the cool new rules and the cool new units, and you're sitting there being like, man, wish I had cool stuff. And then you have to wait 6, 8, 14 months to get your codex. And like, I get it. Like, it's a big game. It's a massive company. They only have so many people working on an edition change at a time. But, you know, if you gotta wait that long and then you gotta pay $60 for your fucking rulebook, it just kind of sucks. Not only that, but like, I think their models are too expensive. You know, I watched a video today where someone, a YouTuber, ranked, like, did a tier list of the best miniatures from the most widely available miniature companies. And of course, at the very top is Games Workshop. And I get it, he's kind of on the Games Workshop payroll. But he brought up the fact that like a single character model for Games Workshop can sometimes be $40. $40 for a single miniature is insane. Like, if you think about it. Right? A single character model could be anywhere from like $35 to $40. It's crazy. It's so much money for just one model. And it's not like a big, large model. It's a standard 32 millimeter model. Like, one of the ones he showed in the video was a rat from Age of Sigmar, and it was $40. I was like, that's crazy. So like, yeah, Games Workshop is, and Warhammer is like a way that a lot of people get involved in this hobby. But I don't think it should be like where you stay forever. And like I said, like, it's how I got into this hobby. Oh, yeah, and how many do you need? Right. So as an example, I'm currently putting together an Age of Sigmar spearhead, right? The lowest point value that you can do for an Age of Sigmar game, it's the smallest size game that you can do, is a spearhead in Age of Sigmar. And the model count for the army that I chose, 10, 25, 30, it's like 32 models. $32. And of course, you know, if you go buy the spearhead box, all those models are together in the box, but that box costs you what, 130, 150, 200 bucks? I don't even know. The only reason why I have the models for this spearhead is because I bought them from somebody that was selling out of Age of Sigmar. So I probably got a few $100 worth of models for half price. Like, I spent, this was like, what, 3, 4, 5 years ago? I spent $280, $300 got one of the super expensive Age of Sigmar character models, the really big ones, and then like 4 or 5 other model kits. So the really big one, the character's name is Teclis. It's a big sphinx with a wizard on it. And like that model retails for almost $300. And I paid almost $300 to get it and like 3 or 4 other $50 model kits. So I got a steal because someone was trying to get rid of stuff. Which anyone that like says they're looking at getting into Warhammer, that's interested in getting into Warhammer, I'm like, go to eBay. Like secondhand market for Games Workshop models is like the best way to get started. Otherwise, you're gonna spend a stupid amount of money. But you know, like that's their bread and butter. Games Workshop doesn't probably make great profit margins on their paints. They probably, I don't know what their margins are like on their rule books. It's the models. Models are definitely where they make their money, because they're constantly coming out with new stuff, and everyone and their mother that plays the game gets FOMO. It's like, oh man, I gotta get that before it sells out and you can't find it anymore. But like, hey, there's nothing wrong with that. If it's your hobby and you love Warhammer, more power to you. I just think there's other really good quality models out there. If your hobby is painting, there are other really good quality models out there from other companies that aren't GW. I mean, aren't all hobbies just expensive? Like, I can't think of a single hobby that I do that is inexpensive. I think we just have one more leg. Yarn addiction can be cheap. Yeah, I don't need another dexterity-based thing to do with my hands. I'm pretty sure I have that covered in mini painting. You know what? I would 100% say that when it comes to the fact that I have too many hobbies, I get that from my mom. My mom collected everything and anything she could. Coins, stamps, baseball cards, basketball cards, she collected shells, like, just, she liked to collect things. So 110%, that is where I get my, like, collecting miniatures and playing Magic the Gathering and all that other stuff from. I also feel like having too many hobbies is a good problem to have, because you're never bored, right? Like, I have met people where I ask them, like, oh, what are your hobbies? What are, like, the things you like to do for fun? People are like, I don't know. I was like, what do you mean you don't know? You don't have a thing that you do that you enjoy? And they're just like, I go to work and I come home and I watch TV. Does TV count? I'm like, not really. Gym rats. Gym rats are hobby people. Their hobby is going and working out. I don't understand them. They're a different breed of strange. But, you know, more power to them. If you're doing a thing you love, who cares what other people think? Just got into coin collecting. Someone gave me a proof coin and change. Oh, that's cool. I got into coin collecting again from my mom. When I was a kid, they were doing all the state quarters, and then when they finished all the state quarters, they started doing the national park quarters. So I have continued the quarters just as a way to remember my mom. Oh, whoa, what are you doing? What's the matter? Why you grumbling? Huh? Why you grumbling? Okay, I think those are good, and I'm happy with them. Otherwise, I could spend all evening working on just this. And I don't want to do that. So let's get the white out and start working on our lines. Yeah, runners are also a weird, different breed of people that I don't understand. I get the cycling though. Like, I used to be a big bike rider. I thought about starting to do that again. Just because I need something to exercise. I'm clearly not going to be doing any bowling anytime soon because it's also expensive. And it's only gotten more expensive. Okay, let's pull up a picture of these bad boys. Infinity, Yuching, white banner. All right, where do we want to start with this? We just kept it to this panel, and then we did the little wheelie. See, the hard part now with this is that on the last one, we're just kind of doing whatever, right? But now I have to try to match that. Which is always a pain. You're like, what did I do last time? How do I do this again? And then the sheer number of things that I freehanded, I'm like, why did I do that to myself? Just for me to cover it all up with battle damage and weathering and snow. I don't think I did this part on stream last time. I think this part was done on a night where I may have taken off. But I still painted. This little triangle right here is a bitch. Oh, it's so lopsided. Woof. That's like chunky. gonna have to clean that up a little bit. Did I thought I didn't do any of the white on stream, but maybe I did. See if we can clean this up a little bit. Recenter my triangle. Hell, I might just paint over it and do it a second time. I think that's the best option here. The lower V is okay. Yeah, I got that thinned out. That looks better. Might need some flow improver. Much better. Okay, let's see if we can get this little triangle correct. Also, I might need to switch to a better brush for this step. Get out one of my sable brushes. Huh. Can't get that sharp little point like I did on the other side. That's gonna have to be good enough. You know, with what I do for my job, you'd think I'd be good at drawing triangles. See, the funny part about that is that I just think they're ugly. Right? Like, I don't even have to do trusses for them. I've never had to do trusses for them. I just think they don't look good. It would never be something that I want to live in. Now, if you told me that it was free, yeah, here's a free house, but it's an A-frame, I'd be like, okay, sure, thanks. I will compromise my dislike for that style if it doesn't cost me a penny. Like the vibes of a log cabin messed with a teepee and a greenhouse. So, like, for living up north, they make far more sense, right? In areas and places where you're worried about like thick snow and stuff like that, an A-frame house makes so much sense. Where we live, they don't make any sense at all because, in my opinion, the side of it is just a giant wind kite. I would not want to be inside of one of those houses during a hurricane. I think the only thing dumber and less practical than an A-frame house is a shipping crate house. I think those are the stupidest thing I've ever seen. Like, what a dumb idea. It's too much roof to leak. Yeah, but like, I'm more worried about like something hitting the side of it. Like, I don't even know how they're constructed. I don't know the thickness between the outside of the roof and you, but I assume that it's not a lot. Oh, it's just a joke. No, it's not a joke. It is a real thing that people do. I have had to do trusses for a shipping crate house. I think once. But that was when I worked for my old company, where they did weird, crazy custom shit like that. Yes, they are actually real. In fact, I have an Xbox Live friend that lives in California that wants to move to Florida, and he wanted to build a shipping crate house. I'm like, why? The reason that he explained to me is that, like, you save money on, like, walls. Like, you don't have to do concrete block because it's all metal. So you just do insulation on the inside and then frame the walls inside of the containers and you're good to go. And like most of the time when people do the shipping crate houses, it's like 2 or 3, sometimes even 4 shipping crates, like put together. They're wild. Like I don't understand why anyone would want to do it. And I feel like with the amount of money people are charging for the shipping crates, you're really not saving a whole lot. Than if you were to just like do it out of concrete blocks. But yes, it is a thing. They are real. It's not just a meme. Or like a doomsday prepper thing like that. They're really popular with like preppers because they'll buy the shipping container and then they'll sink it under the ground and make their shelter out of a shipping container. Okay. What else do we have to do? We've got the big white stripe on the back. We've got the stripes on the nose. Let's do white for all the little whites. Because those are always fun. Ooh, that's tight. Brush control, don't fail me now. Like I said, it's weird. I don't really understand it, but you know, if people want to spend their money on it, that's what they spend their money on. Who am I to judge? I spend my money on little plastic soldiers, or in this case, little metal soldiers. Hell yeah. I got that without having to repaint the fucking faceplate. So they're roughly 8 feet wide. A queen size bed at its widest dimension is over 6 feet. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, most people buy multiple and then like put them together like building blocks. Like, I think the minimum that people use for a shipping container house is like 2 shipping containers. Like I said, they're not super common. In the nearly 10 years that I've been doing what I do for my job, I've only seen one. I think I've had too much caffeine tonight. My hands are shaky. And that's usually an indication that I've either had too much caffeine or not enough food, or a combination of both. A little bit better than the first time. Let's clean up this edge. Maybe? This paint's fucking weird. Okay. How long have we been going for here? Almost 2 hours? So I think I'm gonna paint this last little triangle here, and then I'm gonna call it a night. Because I am shaky. These are not coming out quite as good as they did the first time. Let me change my posture here. Maybe that will help me lock in on these thin straight lines that we're trying to do. We on screen? No, of course not. Nope, not working. Oh, that side's so much better. God, why couldn't I do that the first time? Also, why the hell is my paint not sticking? Let's see if I can clean this side up. Get it to look as good as the other one. On screen. This side's just fat and blocky. Alright, fuck it. I'm leaving it the way it is. Let's do one last thing. bitch thin. There we go. It's a minor little step, but it's adds a fun little detail. There it is. Just that little bit of haze of the fluorescent paint around the light really sells the glow effect. Who needs an airbrush? Now the hard one. Okay. I think that's a decent enough progress for the evening. We got the green done. We got most of the white done. All we have to do left is the nose cone. And then he's got a white stripe going across the back here. And then we've got white stripes going across the top here and along the edges of this. And then from there we can move on to weathering and snow. But I think I'm gonna call it a night just because shaky hands and I've been pretty tired the last couple days. So, that, I hope you all have a wonderful Friday. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. And don't forget to keep it weird. Thanks for watching, everyone.